Wilder House in Prescott or on Whiskey Row. So, and we're also joined with Councilwoman Annie Perkins of Chino Valley.
Hi.
And today we are going to go a little bit crazy, but also we're going to scale it back and we're going to get to know somebody that we probably should get to know. But you know how we always start this, Eric. What day is it?
So it is National Freezer Pop Day.
It's a perfect time. It's hot out there.
It's going to be hot, right? Yeah. So I think it's a good day.
It's definitely a good day. And I don't think anybody out there is really on top of a signature Otter Pop.
You know what you're doing today.
Yeah. I'm going to have to try to stay cool. Yesterday was a little bit hard because it was a little bit windy, but it was also really, really hot. But we also do see some water coming into the area by next week. I mean, it's not going to be anything cool, but it's going to be something good for us. You know how we do it, guys. We obviously want to go ahead and bring you guys up to date with some things that are happening. And we all know that what is happening in Prescott Valley and Chino Valley is that the elections are here. And we are getting down to the nitty gritty to who are we going to be putting into office and who is going to be staying in office. And that's why we, asked Annie to come over and share with us on who you are, what you do, and what makes you famous. And I know those are some loaded questions. But we are dying to know who Annie Perkins is. And you know what? I always say things to this, Annie. I feel like I'm not political. I feel like I just want to get to know people. And, when we put people in leadership, we just want to make sure that they have the best interests for our communities. And it seems like there's some things that you definitely want to talk about, but there's also one thing that I would love for me to hear from you. Once again, okay. What makes you tick? So anyways, Annie Perkins, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
While she's thinking about that real quick, I want to let everybody know we are monitoring the chats and the comments. So if you have questions for Annie, definitely post them in there.
Oh, shoot. Live, Annie, live.
All right. I was actually going to do a Facebook Live Q&A, and then a bunch of stuff happened, so I wasn't able to do that yet. What makes me tick? Well, shoot, I wasn't
not ticked off. We just want to know.
Oh, now you get it.
I was giving you a free stage right now, Annie.
Gosh. What makes me tick?
Back it up. Tell everybody about yourself. Let's start there.
Okay. My name is Annie Perkins. I live in Chino Valley. I love our town. And I began, actually it goes back to the school board bond failure, which I was just dumbfounded by. It wouldn't have cost the taxpayers any more money than they were already paying, and our school buses were breaking down. So I vowed I would never get into politics after 2008, and then that happened, and then I started getting involved on a town level, and that started with, I was appointed to former Mayor Marley's ad hoc committee for Old Home Manor for the development, and then I went for planning and zoning and served on planning and zoning, which is where people need to be paying attention. If you're upset about growth in Chino Valley, it starts in planning and zoning. So please pay attention start to finish, because by the time it comes to us, for the most part, it's already done as long as it's met within the legal requirements. Okay, side note from there. I just love our town, and I've been on council 3.5 years, and I have learned a lot about where our plans are for the future and the obstacles that we have to overcome. I mean, people in this town were not prepared or planned for this kind of growth, and we have to factor in the different people that are moving here as far as retirees, the old-time families, and ranchers that have been here. The young families, that's my original, when I ran for my first seat, was young families. I did not feel they were being represented at all. So that's essentially why I ran. And my husband and I have a blended family of 6. 3 are out of the house, 3 are still in the house. So the quality of young families are important to me, although we have 3 teenagers now, so pray for me.
We'll pray for you, Annie.
Thank you.
3 at a time. Wow. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, a little bit, but they're all blessings, so I can't complain.
So we sent you some questions, so you can go ahead and prep yourself and prepare for our drilling, if you want to call it that. But one of the questions that I really wanted to know, what makes you want to be in this seat, to keep the seat? Because you said that you've been already in Chino Valley's council for 3 years now, and
Three
you
and a
want
half.
to want to
Mhm.
stay for more.
I don't feel like my work is done, and that's not a tagline. I've been really focused on Old Home Manor, on the recreation side, the east side of Old Home Manor, developing that, and then on the west side of Old Home Manor with the business park. I don't want to see that fall to the wayside. I don't believe with staff it will, but I am concerned that it won't be picked up and carried on in the same manner that I've been pushing for, so to speak. I know we have a lot of candidates that are very pro law enforcement, which is amazing. And I serve on the public safety subcommittee, and I'm not quite ready for that yet. I want to get our police a new building, which I know people aren't going to like that too much, but we're trying to do most of it with match funding or grants. They deserve a new building, they really do. I'm not done. There's so many things. I think people have this conception that municipal government is like, okay, I want to say something, I want to do something, and then boom, it's done. I mean, for example, the light at One North, we've been working on that for years, years, just to get the light at One North. It's not done yet, but these things take a lot of time, and that's because of the government process. It's not for a lack of not wanting to do it. It's everything takes time, and I don't really feel like I'm done. I don't want to abandon my post, so to speak. I have a lot of time and energy vested into this, and it's for my town. That's where we live. It's where my kids are growing up. It's where my kids come home to for Sunday dinner. I mean, it's just, I love our town. That's all there is to it, and I don't feel like I'm done yet. I really don't. And if the voters decide that I'm done, then that's on them. I will most likely try and get an appointment to Planning and Zoning Commission again, but I'm not done, not by any means. You'll still see my face. I'll find a place.
I'll
So,
find a
hey, Andy,
place.
real quick, can you tell us about when the election is and all that? Because I think a lot of people miss it because it's not a major election. So, how do people go out and vote?
Okay, well, first and foremost, if you didn't register Monday by midnight, primary is August 4th, and then the general is November 6th, I believe. I'm hoping to win in the 50% plus one in August, so this doesn't have to continue, and I can get back to
Get back to
like
work.
be
Yeah.
back to. And that's the struggle right now, is there's actually a lot of work that's being done, that's in the process, and so it's hard to balance. Okay, I'm doing my town council duties, and yet I still need to do a campaign and run for reelection. And with everything going on in the world and the uncertainty, I don't know. We're at a strange place. We were at a strange place. I listened to the school board meeting yesterday here in Chino Valley, and seems like we're not going to have an answer until they meet again on the 21st.
Go
So
figure.
go vote. Well, they have other factors, and everything can change. And we just take 2020 one day at a time. I just I hope people turn out to vote. I really do. This election, not only for the country and the state, locally in Chino Valley, this election is very, very, very important. And I hope that anybody who is elected does their homework
Well,
as far as past events and current events.
well, San Martin talk about it a lot. We talk about it a lot on this show. Is so everybody's always focused on the presidential election, but
Right.
most of our laws and most of the things that really affect us on a daily basis are done at the city council level, local government level. And so it's so important that everybody goes out and August 4th is a weird date, right? Nobody thinks that, hey, that's what I'm going to go do. They've got to go out and do that. And that, the elections are still going on, and so that's important. And so that's great that you're out here encouraging that people get out and do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not too late to register for the general election in November, though. Just to put that out there. And you can do
Nice.
that at servicearizona.com online.
Okay, so we obviously really want to get to know you. One of the things that I definitely want to know, we're gonna even it out. So I want to know your weaknesses and your strengths. Let's start off with your weaknesses and how you go ahead and adapt to those with your strengths.
Okay. My weaknesses, kind of my life saying is speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Sometimes that's a weakness. Sometimes I should probably mute that. And so I've had to make apologies in that regard. Another weakness is I feel like I have to take on everything myself. Um, and essentially just overwhelm myself with things that aren't necessarily a priority or I have control over. And a friend, whom I consider a friend now, was over and she was just talking to me, and I had some struggles this past year, health wise. And she said, you need to give yourself some grace. You afford other people grace. You need to give yourself some grace. And since she said that, my whole perspective has switched. Like, okay, Annie, you cannot do everything. You can't do everything at the house and for the kids and the animals, and you know, give yourself grace. And that really changed my perspective. And just having an attitude of gratitude overwhelms everything. It really does. It really does. Empty milk jugs in the refrigerator. Those are the things that make moms crazy. So trying to stay on top of the house and the kids and everything is overwhelming. But if I just extend a little grace to my kids and extend a lot of grace to myself to kind of mute myself until I'm a little more steadied and not just like, why is there a milk jug in the refrigerator, or I take a picture and I print it out and put it on
Now, I is that your weaknesses or those are your strengths?
both. I
Okay,
mean,
that makes sense.
my
That makes sense.
oldest my oldest son is 20 and he's living in Prescott and works and has a car and he's doing really well. And I was so much stricter with him because he was my firstborn. And now I see myself as being really lax. And this whole COVID, the kids leaving for spring break, not knowing it was going to be their last day of school. As a mom and for guidance, I've noticed that I've let myself lax on them a little bit with chores just because I don't know what else to do. It's too hot to play outside after 10, or before 5:30. So I have some weaknesses there too. It's all a learning process.
Okay, this might be a little bit of a touchy question, but
Okay,
Uh,
bring it on.
uh-oh.
will will your kids vote for you for the election
Yes,
2020?
absolutely.
Okay, I was thinking that in my head right now. I was like, should I ask a question like this? But one of the things
No,
that I was
yeah, for
it's
sure.
like, you know what, we should interview everybody's husbands and wives and children, and then put
Well,
them on the spot. Would you
my
want them to go
kids would vote for me. At least the ones that can vote. My youngest,
I'm
no,
so
I meant of
sorry.
age. I meant of age.
Okay.
They're not felons. So
No,
help me God.
that's so funny. I don't know about the younger ones. They might not want to vote for me.
It
Well,
depends on
no,
if
my
you made it to
son,
their chores that day. Yeah.
my son that's 14 and a half, um, he didn't want me to run again for reelection.
Oh wow.
Um, because it takes a lot of time away from my
Yeah.
family. It's not just 2 Tuesdays a month. There's meetings and there's study sessions and um, there's subcommittee meetings and there's ribbon cuttings and it's encompassing. And to volunteer for something like that, it's usually on Tuesdays, which is when my son had soccer practice or games, which I never wanted to ever miss. But then I kind of explained to him on a different level of like why I'm doing this. He doesn't understand why it's free, but but he's supportive now. He's supportive. He understands why I'm doing this.
That's good. And I didn't mean to brush that question in there,
That's
but
okay. That's
stuck in
okay.
my head. I was thinking to myself, like, what it does take to go ahead and be a part of, the council is it is a lot of work, but it's also something that is a passion because you want to see things be good in your town. And Chino Valley is people say, oh, Chino Valley, but in reality, Chino Valley is actually a force to be reckoned with. By square footage, Chino Valley is actually
Yeah.
greater and bigger than Prescott or Prescott Valley,
Mhm.
and obviously, there's growth. And I know that we didn't also put this question on the questionnaire, so sorry.
That's
How do you
okay.
feel about growth in Chino Valley?
It's a hot
Modern.
topic, right? It's the hottest
How
topic.
long?
Yeah,
How long do we have for this segment?
right.
Um,
just in a nutshell, obviously people are going to move here, and
yes.
people are going to want to move, and they're just wanting to flock different locations because they're just not having fun. They don't like their leadership. They're like, oh, I'm tired of this. This is something that's happening, and that's one thing that a lot of people talk about is about foreigners. I guess we're going to call them foreigners. Anybody that's not from Arizona or from Chino Valley come into our
Transplant.
area.
Transplant.
And these they come in and they have a full force of, oh, this should be changed, this should be changed, you should bring this in here, you should bring this in here, without the ideal of, why did you really come to Chino Valley? um, with that being said, is the growth in Chino Valley, I mean, I know what it is, but growth in Chino Valley in the next 4 or 5 years, 10 years, is it in moderation, or is it like, let's boom it up, let's get all these houses up, and let's just roll with it?
Jobs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good
We
answer.
need jobs.
It's a really good answer.
Yeah. So
We need jobs to support the people that are living here. That's one
unless
of the
they're
goals
retired.
at Old Home Manor is to get entry level through PhD level jobs. Without those, people can keep building, but the cost of living in Chino keeps going up. I mean, right down the road, they're selling brand new manufactured homes on lots, 0.16 lots for $250,000. I'm yeah, the cost of living is going up here extremely quickly. I mean, I know people say affordable housing. It's not that affordable anymore. We
Right.
need the jobs to support it. Along with that, we need the infrastructure to support it, which is a catch 22. We need the roads to support it, which is more
Yeah.
than a catch 22. It really is, because it's not just the financial aspect, which is huge, but like Road 2 North, the Safeway Road, that's how everyone knows it. Post office, the Safeway, Walgreens. We don't own the land on either side of those lanes. So in order to expand, we would have to acquire that land, which means money. And the post office, that's on a federal level, so an ADOT is on a state level. So as far as I'm concerned, and this is a hot topic right now within the town as far as lot splits and everything else. As far as I'm concerned, it has to be sustainable. And if we're not sustaining the growth that we already have, we kind of need to put the pause on it. However, personal property rights. If I have land, that it fits the general plan and I want to build a dozen homes, that's my right as long as I'm following all the guidelines. And so it's really six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. People come here, transplants. I'm a transplant. I came from Fort Bliss, Texas, and came here for the quality of life. And for my family, the quality of life was open, rural, cowboys, rope-ins, the small town feel. And I still want to maintain that. I will never vote for Walmart. You can put me on record for that. I would never, ever, ever vote for a Walmart. I think that our small business, they're doing okay. They need our support, but they're doing okay. I do agree with another grocery store. It's really needed. I saw an article the mayor of Prescott Valley posted about needing another grocery store and where people thought the best location would be. And I'm over here like, Gina would be great. Can we get another one, please? That would be awesome. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. With the development down the road, see what that brings to Chino. It's all kind of a wait and see and try and plan for the best and try and make everybody happy, which is impossible. It is absolutely impossible. Just basically don't try and change Chino, please. Not too much. I mean, some change is good, but smile at
So,
other people.
so
Smile and
is
don't be rude. That's not how we are.
Right.
Were, just it's a sense of community, of coming together, that if we have sustainable growth, if we can maintain it, if we can get jobs to support the people that live here, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. And just be nice to each other. I mean, that goes for the whole world.
Right.
Yeah.
Annie, I'm going to go off script too.
Okay.
So obviously you've been in the council for a little while. You've got plans. You've also enacted some stuff. So you're creating a legacy for the town of Chino. So even long after you're on the council and things like that. So what is the number one thing that you want to be remembered for Chino, as far as things that you're working on? So is that something that you may have already done, things that you have in place, plans that you have? What do you think that legacy should be? I'm sorry, yeah, the big one.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, my legs falling asleep. Getting the police building. That's
Okay.
my number one goal. I don't know, Chief Wynn's offered tours. I don't know if anybody's taken them up on it, but we need a police building very, very badly. And we need one that we can build up over the years, and if there is growth, more growth. Also, Old Home Manor. Really, the recreation side of Old Home Manor serves so many people, and there are so many opportunities for concessionaires to come in and make great things happen there. The business side of Old Home Manor is literally across the street from me, but it needs to happen. Everyone wants open spaces. That's going to be my view, and I want it to happen because I want to be able to provide jobs. That's all there is to it.
So if there is one good thing that you could say about Chino Valley, what would it be?
There hopefully will be multiple good things, but
Yeah.
let's just pick one. Yeah.
I'll try to keep it simple.
The sense of community. The sense of community. Over the past few years, we've had unspeakable tragedies. And I don't know if they make the news, they make the Chino Review, and the sense of community, of coming together, of supporting people who are down on their luck or who have had a tragic incident, who lost their home to a fire. The sense of community of everybody coming together. When there was a toilet paper shortage, people were like, okay, I have 6 rolls. You need 6 rolls. It's a homeless man whose car broke down, and the townspeople have come together to get him a hotel for a few days, and so he can shower. And I got to give a shout out to Katrina Carr. She's not in Chino Valley, but she organized this through her nonprofit for donations. So his car wasn't fixable. He needed a place to stay, et cetera, et cetera. Very nice guy. And the town came together overwhelmingly, and they're like, no, hang on, we can't do any more food. So to me, the sense of community that we have here is so important. It is ideal to care about each other. And that's one thing I'm really proud of, is we still have that.
That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. And that's a great way to go ahead and end a little bit of who is Annie Perkins, Councilwoman Annie Perkins, formerly. And how many people are running for your seat?
Okay, so who am I personally? We need like a couple hours for that.
No. How many people are running for your seat?
Okay, so there are 6 people running for 3 seats, one of which is mine. I'd like to keep it, please. Please vote for me.
August 3rd.
And yeah, so it should be interesting. I know of myself and one other person that I'm voting for. I'm undecided on the third, which is kind of rare. I won't endorse anyone publicly, but still a lot of information. We're less than a month out. We need to get out there as much as possible.
Yes,
Annie, real quick, do you know what percentage off the top of your head, or a guess of what percentage of the population of Chino actually goes out and votes in this election?
I can't go off of, gosh, what was it? Last year it was a pretty high turnout because of the proposed road tax. The year before, I think it was under a quarter, or the election before, I think it was under 25%,
That's
which
still
is
pretty
sad.
high. That's still pretty
That's
high for a community, though. Yeah, for a non-presidential election type thing.
right. Yeah, it's just I was taught it was not our right but our duty to vote, and I'd like to see that the voter turnout come up. That would be great all around the country.
that's an awesome way to go ahead and end it. We have a couple more things that we want to talk about, Annie, and we're going to go ahead and let you go because we know you have a busy life, obviously, with the things that you have going on, and we want to give this opportunity, and we're going to, interview a few of the candidates, all the ones that actually want to. So this is an open forum; everybody's allowed to. We just wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit more time than you have been given, in order for people to get to know you. And once again, I didn't get into any political jargon because that's not what I really, really am like in tune with. I'm actually in tune with character, and character also goes a long way. So I appreciate you taking your time this morning, especially being the soccer mom that you are with the three children that are in the house. And I don't know
No
how many animals.
soccer.
How many animals do you have on the farm?
Well, it's not a farm. Uh, my son says it's a dog farm with cows on it. So we have five dogs. Two are 13-year-olds. Um, weren't expecting them to still be here. Grateful they are, but so we have five dogs and two steers that we're finishing off. It's a co-op of five different families. We're not raising them for mass production. It's just everybody chips in and everybody gets meat. So
Oh, nice.
that's it. Mhm.
And they also mown your acres.
Yes, yes, and praying for that rain. We really, really, really need that rain.
It's coming next week, Annie. You heard it here
Okay,
first.
okay. I heard it there first. I mean,
But we got to get through this week. This is going to be a tough week. I got an alert today that it's extreme fire hazard this week.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Those are some things that we're going to have to talk about because there is a fire going up in Payson right now, which is not good. And then they actually had a down helo pilot,
yeah.
Which is
So
very.
we'll let Annie go, and we'll finish up the news here real quick. Annie, thank you so much for joining us today.
thank you guys for having me. I hope the other candidates come on your show. I really do. This was fun. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Please take care, and we'll be watching. Good luck.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
All right, Eric. Well, that was actually really, really awesome to go ahead and have Annie join us, Councilwoman Annie. Once again, it's her formal name or her title. And yeah, we really want to go ahead and see more people jump on here. So Prescott Valley, Chino Valley candidates, more than welcome. Call us, email us at the editor at theprescotttimes.com. So we're going to jump into something that has been kind of on the up and up, and it happens every year. We get a report from the city of Prescott about our water. And I don't know if you remember, Eric, a while ago, probably about 7 months ago, there was a report that was released and it had to talk about what was in our water. And I did last night. I went through the whole thing, and man, I'm a little bit like wondering, half the stuff that is in our water. And so we did a little bit of a study of, what actually was in the water that we drink. And I did a couple of notes. I just got to find out where I actually.
Yeah, no. While you're finding that, people need to know also that, like for Annie, Chino Valley actually is on Prescott water. So when you see City of Prescott water data, I believe that that's also supplied to Chino Valley. I think Prescott Valley has their own water system, but yeah, it's something good to know.
Yeah, it's definitely good to know. And some of the stuff that's actually in our water is very questionable. And the reason why it's questionable is because it causes a lot of things. But did you guys all know that they put chlorine in our water? And the reason why they put chlorine in our water is so they could go ahead and take down infections. And in summertime, they actually up the dosage. But the overall report is saying nothing's over toxic enough to go ahead and hurt the citizens if you drink the water. But it's also said that filtration in the water was something that is needed, but it would be too expensive to filter that water. So each home needs to go ahead and filter your water in order for you to go ahead and take out a number of I guess, substance that will fall into your water, such as arsenic. I gotta get this thing up, Eric. It was
We talked about the calcium. The calcium's incredible here.
yeah, the
So
calcium
they
is
recommend
definitely.
water softeners as well. They recommend some filtration, and then I guess the water is safe to quote unquote drink, but I think they still recommend that you filter it before you drink it, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's very good to go ahead and do such things. And one of the products that was in there was stuff that you will find in your dryer sheets. Now that's kind of interesting, and you could actually find all those reports. And I'm still trying to
Are
figure.
people eating Tide Pods again, San Martin?
Yeah, we actually really honestly do Tide Pods, and nobody really knows it. Just kidding. It's a joke, guys. But once again, the report came, and it's very much what would you say, open to the public. You could go ahead and question anything, and you could go ahead and call the city of Prescott. And let me see. I don't know exactly.
And all these results are from 2019, so just they are delayed by the time they put these reports together.
Yeah, very delayed. And yeah, for some crazy reason, I haven't. Let me just go back into our messages, Eric, because I know that you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And the
Well, and
crazy,
I've got it up, and they say possible contaminants in drinking water could be arsenic, could be barium, chlorine, copper, and lead. Something that I cannot produce or pronounce, so I'm not going to try. There's disinfection byproducts that could be in there, nitrates, um, and it says radionuclides, it looks like, which again I'm going to butcher that. And so there are some things, and that could be radium, that could be uranium. I mean, there's things in there, but they're such small amounts. They're well from the report. It looks like they're all well within the EPA guidelines.
yeah, very well in the EPA guidelines. And one of the things is that water is kind of crazy because some of the stuff that you actually find in the water, from what was read on this report, that it comes from the ground, it comes from the pipes, it comes from the things that they actually put into there, and it's just amazing to see how much stuff actually goes into this. So the report comes off by saying that the Prescott Water District really takes it seriously on how water is. And I actually remember this one time, Eric, um, when say for instance there's like a fire or somebody taps into the fire hydrant down the road. What ends up happening is that it agitates the pipes, and what goes on. What actually happened that day? I was up there in um, what's that place called? Uh,
I'm going to share this while you're talking.
Yeah. So I went up there, and I got water out of the faucet, and it was so foggy and so messed up that I was like, what in the heck is this? And so I called the water department, and instantaneous they came up there quicker than you could have possibly think of. And they talked with me about what it was, what's happening, why it's doing that. And basically, when those fire hydrants get agitated, it shakes the pipes, and then there's actually in the pipes there's sediments, and the sediments get shooken up, and then it causes this thing to go up. And as
Yeah.
you can see right here on the report, if you guys can't see this, we will put it the link on the comments, and you guys can go ahead and pull this up yourself. The page that you see on the screen right now is the water quality data report for the city of Prescott. And on that report, there is all the listings of what is in the water and how much it is in the water and what's allowed in order for us to go ahead and be, before we drink it. So as you can see right there, there was a couple in there that I was like, how do you say that? But I ended up, Googling a bunch of it, and it's kind of weird to see how this some of this stuff is. But then again, our body actually needs a lot of this stuff in here. So, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you're more than welcome to call the city of Prescott or the water district and actually talk to them about this. If you have any questions about your water, the best bet is to always filter it and filter it like 3 or 4 times. And you could actually get those inline water filters, so you could actually change the way that you take a shower and also the way that you drink your water. And you guys got to understand this is that I did a report. I think I showed you, Eric, or told you about it yesterday when we were talking about if we're going to talk about the water today. And when I did the water, seeing how much acid was in the water compared to alkaline acidic water, it was totally insane on how much acidic is in the water that we
Acidic.
drink. And it's in every water bottle, my friends. And you can go ahead and I'm going to try to find that video again, and I'm going to post it so you guys can go ahead and see, what I actually reported on. And I tell you what, Eric, it's scary. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was actually talking yesterday about this, it was to the report of how fast our body absorbs chemicals that are in the water, and the chemical that we were testing at that point in time was chlorine. And I put once again drops of chlorine inside of the water from the faucet that also show that it was had chlorine in it. And then I put my fingers in the other cup of water that didn't have the tablets that shows it, and I twirled my fingers in there for like 2 seconds 3 seconds and pulled it out, and then tested the water for chlorine, and there was no water or no chlorine in the water. So my body absorbed just that in that amount of time, that much chlorine, and not knowing exactly what was in that amount. But just got to go ahead and put that out there. And once again, water is essential to us. It is actually our lifeline. We are made out of what is it, Eric? 90 something percent of water, 99.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, San Martin, is these pipes that are in the ground. I don't know if you've ever done any plumbing in Prescott that are in these houses that are in the ground. I mean, there are some old pipes and they give off stuff. And like at the Wilder house, there is every type of there's PVC, there's clay, there's copper, there's galvanized, there's I mean, and it's all pieced together. And all of that stuff comes off in your water. And so, and it's plus the stuff that's in the ground. I mean, it's just crazy. You got to think about it. And all the pumps that's what they're showing in the report. The pumps, the water tanks give off stuff. So it is important to filter your water, no matter how hard they try to make sure we have good water. And it looks like they do a good job. It doesn't matter when it comes to your house. It depends on what pipes it passed through to get to your house, and it can have a completely different, testing levels.
Yeah, and it's true. And so, I mean, there's a lot of places that you could go ahead and get your water filtered, or even get a system inside of your house that you could go ahead and get this water, filtered. And I've heard of a lot. I started drinking alkaline water whenever I need to hydrate. Obviously, there's a lot of water bottles that are out there, and it literally in stages, man. So I think Dasani water is no good water at all, man. That stuff is anything from Nestle is not good. I'm just saying it right.
Most people don't know they own a good portion of the world's water supply, drinking water.
Yeah, and all they do is just basically turn on the tap water and just say, "Here we go, here you
Yeah.
guys go." And
Anyway,
did you?
any other news you want to hit before we wrap things up? Because we're way over today. Because we were so lucky to have Annie on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just going to go say one more thing. Water labels do not have to tell you how their bottled water is. They can tell you it's from the mountains, but it
I
probably.
I don't want to jinx it because I don't want to put it on record. But I was driving through a neighborhood in Glendale, and I came across a Mountain Spring water bottling plant in the middle of Glendale, Arizona. And at that point, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So yeah.
Well, you guys heard it here first. We speak the truth. But Eric, yeah, there's a couple of things that we could go over. It's obviously Tuesday. We are
Wednesday, hump day.
Tomorrow, we're going to talk about education and what the educators are doing. A report came out yesterday. President Trump decided to go ahead and say, hey, we want you guys to go back to work or go back to school. We want the children to go back to school. The Arizona superintendent, or whoever she is for the education, she came out and she started saying some things. So we're going to go ahead and try to sum it all up and what is in store for you guys and your children when they go back to school. The question is going to be, are you going to send your kids back to school, or are you going to go ahead and keep them home? Eric, are you going to send them to school, or are you going to keep them home?
So my kids have been in a hybrid type schooling since they were little. So they've gone to some school things and they've been homeschooled. So we're just going to kind of see how things go. I mean, it could go either way.
And then, most people are going to just want to keep their children safe. So I totally understand that. But, the reports are coming out, and it seems like a lot of the death rate is definitely going down. But the huge spike in positives has just rampant crazy. Yesterday's report ended up with 999 new positive cases. And once again,
It's
guys,
just Arizona, right?
yeah, that was just in Yavapai.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
999. And the crazy part is that we have heard that they are counting the antibody. And so once again, the antibody is not 100% accurate. It's been changed from a few different perspectives: 95, 85 to 20% accurate. So we don't know exactly what's happening as soon as they send those tests to whoever land, and we don't know what's coming back. But once again, guys, I feel very, what would you say, positive about what is going on as far as when it comes down to the virus. I feel like it's dying, but a lot of people are saying it's going to come back and fall. And I'm just like, geez, talk about fear factor, man. It's something that is definitely like, But anyways, if you guys don't feel safe, once again, that mask is still an option. Did
Yeah.
you see that? Yeah, I don't want to keep on going, but we'll go ahead and end it on that note. Tomorrow, once again, I think we're going to have another candidate. We're booking, I think, Gina. Let me see the candidate's name, and this is for Chino Valley. Gina. Let's see. Boom. It's going to be Gina Picaro, Picoraro, I think. So look forward to that tomorrow morning. We'll go ahead and put her on and see exactly what she's all about, and everybody will be able to, decipher who you want to vote for. And that's kind of what we're doing, is letting you guys know who you're going to vote for. So Chino Valley, if you're out there, make sure you tune in for tomorrow. Prescott Valley, get your candidates to start talking so you guys know who you're putting into the office. And that's where it all starts, my friends, in our municipalities in Prescott Valley, Chino Valley. And what happens in those little areas is definitely going to affect you in our area. So be vigilant, my friends. Be vigilant. And with that being said, peace, love, and happiness. Let it not be war. And we'll see you there tomorrow. And don't forget to follow us on all the social media avenues. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You got to do your sign out. Come on.
Oh, yeah. See you later. Oh, wait. You want those ones? Deuces.